Hello and welcome to another walkthrough. Today I am going to show off my simple networking chat room application. This project was just to learn the basics of simple networking using a client slash server model, also allowing for multiple clients to be connected to the server at a time to create a sort of chat room effect, sending messages to other clients every time messages are received. This uses TCP connection. It's using the Python language as well as the the select, socket, and Erno Python libraries. To start on the server side, using the socket library, it comes with all kinds of useful methods. We're using the sockstream property here in when creating a socket, which tells it to use a TCP connection. We then tell it a specific IP and port to bind on, which is where we will look for new connection requests, and then to listen for new connection requests with an available backlog of 5. We create a new list for the sockets, and we put the server socket in there, and then also create a new list for clients. We then loop forever looking for new connections or new messages from those already connected, and then we also handle errors. For instance, if a user disconnects from the chat room, it'll create a socket exception, and we'll notice that and remove them from the list of sockets. The messages the server expects to receive message headers before the message so that it knows how long the message will be. And I believe that's it for the server itself. There's a couple other error handlings and things like that scattered throughout. On the client side, when a new client is created, it'll ask in the terminal for a username, and that username will be used by the server and also by the terminals, so you can see your own username, and others will be able to see it on their side as well. We then give it the specific IP and port to connect to, and the program that I've created you have to know the IP and port beforehand. There's no searching or anything like that. But if you know the IP and port, you can connect to it, and the server will accept the connection. We then send the username header and the username over for the server to accept, and then we loop forever looking for either new message input from the current user of the terminal, or for new messages from other users through the server rather. There's also error handling down here, such as these, using the Erno library, which is very helpful, and as well as right here for if the connection was closed by the server. You can see right here we send the message header and the message when we send a message to the server. As I said before, the server expects that, so it knows how long it will be. Once a message is sent by the user, the server will accept it and then distribute it to all other clients, not including the one that sent the message. The only problem with this system right now is that the terminal user has to refresh the terminal in order to receive messages sent from other users. Eventually I want to implement listeners that will listen for new messages, and if they're received and if the user, I think, is not typing, then it will refresh. If they are typing, it should probably wait until they send their message. I don't know if that'll interfere with what they've typed. So I plan to implement something like that in the future. I believe that's it for the client side as well. So yeah. So now I'll go ahead and show you it in action real quick. We'll go ahead and open up a few of these terminals. Put one over here, and one over here. Okay, so then we can open up a client. Leave that there for now. Another client and a server. The server doesn't show anything until connections or messages are sent, so then we can come over here and we can have a username A, username B. You can see the server has accepted the new connections, shows the usernames and the IP and port that the connection is from. And then we can, for instance, the username A can send a message. You can see the server receives it instantaneously from username A, hello world, message. But username B does not receive it instantaneously. They instead have to enter and refresh in order to see it. That's pretty much it. We can send another message back and then refresh this to see it. So yeah, like I said, implementing a new listeners so that you don't have to refresh, I think will make that a lot better. But that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.